We are here with ELLIS Cadenhead. He is running for county commissioner. He is the incumbent. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am 80 years old, which some people think is extremely old.
It's young. That's young.
It's very young in my perspective. I live off Salem Road on Pretty Road, have property in both places, and have a small cattle farm. Retired from Newnan Utilities, retired from Coweta Water Authority. So mostly utility business is my background.
And how long have you been in office?
7.5 years.
Okay. Is there any one reform that you would like to see over the next several years that you would like to lead?
In what manner? What would you?
Just is there any one thing that stands out that you think needs to get attention that maybe hasn't been looked at in the past?
Yes, I think that a lot of building going on in and around Troup County. I would like to see the rural area somewhat maintained just for the simple reason of the history of Troup County. And it means a lot to me to be in the rural area.
So you're saying you would like to see the preservation of the rural area?
Absolutely, along with the history.
Okay. And I want to ask you about a couple of recent votes.
Okay.
So you voted to put restrictions in place or additional restrictions in place for the short-term rentals.
Yes.
And so one of those was to limit the number of days that a property could be rented as a short-term rental to 175 days, and also that you in order to apply for a permit for a short-term rental, you would need to own the property for 3 years.
Yeah.
Can you explain the reasoning behind that a little bit?
Well, preservation of the neighborhood. The biggest thing, we've had quite a few come in lately that were controversial, and the neighborhood really did not want the housing, the short-term rental housing, just for the simple reason of every day changing out or ever so often changing out who was there and not becoming part of the neighborhood. They still like to maintain the neighborhood and what's there.
I want to give you an example. So recently there was a property that was purchased. It already had a short-term rental permit, and the permits they don't go with the property. So you have to reapply.
Special use.
You have to reapply for the permit again. So the person that bought this property is from outside of LaGrange. It's been used as a short-term rental for several years, for at least 3 years. And so now under the new rules, they are a new owner. They haven't owned the property for 3 years. So they will not be able to continue using it as a short-term rental, which was the whole intent of the purchase. Do you see that could be modifications that need to be looked at with unintended consequences?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Anytime there's something controversial needs to be, that's what the guidelines are for. Somebody can come in and make the application, and if it needs to be maintained or changed or whatever, we're very objective. All the commissioners are.
That one being a recent vote and already having someone reach out or public comments that have been discussed. That was a specific example that came about.
Right.
Tell me also about the private sanitation oversight. So private sanitation has been in place for, is it been a full year yet?
No, not quite full year.
Not quite a full year. So couple things. So the goal was to reduce the expenditure associated with it, I'm assuming. And so did that happen? Are you seeing a reduction in that? And what kind of results do you think have been achieved?
Well, first of all, as far as the county is concerned, there was a reduction. But as far as the citizens is concerned, I can't see a reduction. I think it's more expensive. So it's a matter of I voted no against the sanitation to begin with.
Okay, so you voted no, not to
Correct.
go private?
Correct. And I
Okay,
vote no again today.
okay,
I offered, and another commissioner offered, let's wait a couple of years and extend it out and let the county residents themselves, the unincorporated area, pay for it. But you have to learn how to count. We got beat 3-2. So that's part of the politics, is learning how to count.
and would you, so at the end of their contract, so how long was their contract for?
1 year.
So it's a 1-year contract.
Correct.
So it will be up for renewal. Do you plan to suggest that it's brought back inside the county services, or do you plan to continue with it being a private?
I have not made up my mind. I have to listen to my constituents and what they want. I try to listen to it from the standpoint of whatever the majority wants.
Okay.
I have not, no one has reached out to me other than a few that still are upset about it.
Will there be any community meetings to discuss it at the end of that year, or will it just roll into business?
I don't know that that's been discussed at all.
Okay. Let's talk about housing. So housing is a very hot topic in Troup County, in the city of LaGrange and in the county. And there has been several questions about allowing smaller homes to be built on lots. So one, would you support if the land requirements of still 1 acre minimum or 0.75 acre minimum was in place, would you approve for smaller homes to be built?
I think
Even maybe under 1,000 square feet?
I think there is a need for smaller housing. You may have a couple that's just the two of them, and they do not need, in fact, you have older adults that are downsizing, and there would be some that would like to have smaller houses. I'd be open for that, yes.
Do you have any other ideas on housing in Troup County?
Well, that's pretty much left up to the capital, where things happen. That's just investments and things of that nature. I don't think the federal government, state government, nor the local government needs to be involved in that.
Good. So I want to talk about the budget a little bit.
Okay?
What is, in your opinion, something that could be cut? Everyone is under financial pressure right now. Families are under financial pressure, communities and organizations. So is there anything with the county that could be cut with the budget? And is it even needed? Is a budget cut needed?
Well, I'm not so sure it's needed, because I sit in on the budget hearings, and I see where we are lacking in some areas. I think we need more public safety, and to get more public safety, we're probably going to have to cut some areas. So that's, I'm not going to say specifically which area needs to be cut, because until those times come up, and we need to take a look at it.
And that goes right into is our public safety.
Yes.
Is how are we going to be able to fill all of the Troup County Fire Department open positions and the sheriff and deputy positions to make sure that we have the safety for our community? What needs to be done there?
Well, like I said, dollars are going to have to be found to incorporate. We've got deputies positions that's still open. We got firefighter positions that's open. We need some qualified people to actually fill these positions that we have open currently. But yes, we do need additional firefighters. I've been involved with the volunteer fire department since 1967, still active at 80 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I would like to see the public safety continue. I'd like to see the cameras be installed that was approved in the last SPOS. That starts in next year, 2025. So I'd like to see those cameras get in place to help offset some of the needed personnel possibly.
Cameras where?
Out all over, Hogansville, West Point, unincorporated, and the city of LaGrange. So that all those dollars have been appropriated through the SPOS, and I'd like to see those hurry up and get installed so that we can sort of crack down on crime.
Ellis, what was a time in your life, or what led up to you wanting to be involved in politics locally?
Well, I am a person that likes to serve, likes to try to help people. And that's been one of the main objectives for me to do is help people. And it's paid off because I get a lot of satisfaction by being able to help someone. Like I said about the fire department, being a volunteer for all those years, I still enjoy it. And it makes a lot of sense for a county commissioner to be able to help people because it takes a lot of time, a lot more time than people realize. Not just on the phone, but people want you to come look at something, want you to come visit it. And that's one of the reasons I'm in it. Since I'm retired, I have the time to do it.
Well, and I was going to ask you is how do you get more community engagement so that you really understand what people are wanting? Is there anything that you do to try to solicit more input?
Nothing except when somebody calls, wants to know how to do something, or they have an opportunity to be resolved. It's not a problem, but trying to work it out and make everything work out for not only for the county but also for the individual. So it works both ways. It's a give and take opposition.
Well, good. Well, I'm going to give you a minute to tell the public why they should vote for you.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Kendall, for allowing me to be
Absolutely,
here.
yes.
So, it has been my pleasure for 7.5 years to serve as a commissioner for Troup County for District 2. And it is rewarding on my part to be able to help someone like we talked about prior to. But I am a certified commissioner. It takes 66 hours of training by the ACCG, and you have to go all over the state for this to happen. And it's quite time consuming to do it. And like I said earlier, being retired, I have much more time and experience as far as budget-wise than my opponents. And I'd just like to continue to work another 4 years and see what I can do to help the citizens of Troup County. Having said that, I would appreciate your vote and support on May the 21st. Thank you.
And Ellis, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.